How you doing? So, I decided to make this video because I know there's a lot of White Tiger fans out there, and I know some people are upset because they voted for White Tiger and she didn't win, and we had Lamiator. So, the good thing about Lamiator, or you can say or Gladiator, however you want to call him, he is getting a buff. So keep that in mind. So I know a lot of people are thinking about White Tiger and how is she in the game. So let's take a look at her abilities. So I'm just gonna tell you, is she the best Mystic champion in the game? So the short answer is no. Can she be the top 5 Mystic champion in the game? The short answer is yes. So let's think about Tiger, White Tiger. So when it comes to White Tiger, she has some good abilities. As you can see here, she's immunity to nullify, which is really good, especially in incursion when there's a lot of nodes that inflicts nullify abilities, as well as a few mystic champions that does as well. So having immunity to nullify is definitely a very strong ability to have. Other than that, I don't really see her having many abilities. She does have good power control, but it's not like Doom level power control, but it is pretty good. The good thing about White Tiger is that I think if you know how to use her, that she's gonna have more damage than Doctor Doom. And, not quite as good power control, but has more damage. But assuming you know how to use her, and that's the thing about White Tiger that for me as the average player, that I not the thing that I would rate her lower is that she's not easy to use. When for an average player, I would be looking for champion that are easy to use and as well as you know has survivability that can take hits. And White Tiger is not one of them. There's the ability that she can shrug up debuffs if opponent has lots of buffs. And that's the pretty much like I would like to have improved for White Tiger is like when it comes to opponents having buffs, there's a 20% chance she can purify debuffs applied to her. I wish it was just only one buff. Like there's a 100% chance she can purify buffs. It was only one. Then you could definitely make a case for White Tiger to be one of the best Mystic champions in the game. And let's just say, could she be top 5? Maybe, perhaps. There's obviously Diablo, you know, as far as best Mystic champion in the game, and you can definitely make an argument for Doom, as well as even Absorbing Man post nerf, best Mystic, as well as Kushala. I think she's really up there with Kushala as far as like ranking wise, as for top Mystic class. But keep in mind, there's only really 3 out of the 5. There's only 3 champions that are 7 stars. That's Diablo, um, Kushala, and White Tiger. That is currently only 7 stars. So if you're talking about 7 stars, she could definitely be arguably in the top 3 Mystic champions in the game. What else? Also, you can even make an argument that White Tiger is better than Diablo if you can play perfectly, as well as you don't make mistakes. So yeah, but that's only if you can play perfectly and you don't make mistakes. And then I said the same thing about Absorbing Man. You know, I said Absorbing Man could be better than Diablo if you know how to use Absorbing Man. The good thing about Absorbing Man is though, is like even though post nerf, Absorbing Man, he has immunities, resistance, regeneration, so you can still make mistakes and still do well in a fight, as long as you know how to use them. So I think overall, what I think about White Tiger, I think she's a good overall champion in the game. She's definitely not, I would say, OP champion. Definitely not broken, obviously, but I think Kabam really wanted to be careful because she's gonna be released as a 7 star. That's why I didn't want her to be like OP and something like that. But I think she's still gonna be a good champion overall, as long as you know how to use her. I think the drawback to her is like when it comes to like she has to be up against a lot of champions with a lot of debuffs to be able to purify a lot. She has to be up against a lot of champion that has a lot of buffs. I meant, so she can purify debuffs. It would have been really nice if it was only one debuff. There's 100% chance she can not shrug off debuffs if an opponent has one buff, not like 5 buffs or something. So that's unfortunate when it comes to White Tiger. That's the only thing I'd say that she could definitely improve on. Another thing as well is when it comes to like nullifying buffs, she can nullify only 2 buffs. That is power gain and I believe energize buff. So I'm not really like, it wish it would have been better if it was like what else? It would be better if it wasn't just energize buff and power gain buff. It would be great if it was also what do you call that? Indestructible buff as well as immortality buff, because especially incursion, you go far enough with Hela, with Odin synergy, it just that'd be so funny. Like, with the indestructible, if you have a bleed, it's the bleed is gonna be paused because of Hela's indestructible for being so long. Depending how far you go in incursion, she can have indestructible for over a minute. So it's like, what's that gonna do? I mean, she does prevent regeneration if the opponent is like bleeding, as well as she can get those regeneration from the opponent. So I think that's why she's a great counter for Hulkling. But other than that, it would have been nice if you can nullify not just 2 buffs, like at least 4 buffs. Which is when she ends a combo meter, she can nullify a buff. It would be indestructible and immortality. That would be another thing I would add to her kit, and she would have been like an OP champion. So those are my thoughts when it comes to White Tiger. I think she's going to be definitely a good addition as far as the Mystic class. Thank you.